Coming up this month on Roanoke County Today, we meet the new library director for Roanoke County and learn Hands Only CPR. This and more coming up. Participation in the Roanoke County Recycling Drop-Off Trailer Program has been increasing. The following etiquette tips will help our citizens receive the most benefit from the recycling program. Please break down any boxes before placing them in the containers. We currently accept mixed paper, plastics, and cans. Please do not place items with food residue in bins. Fill trailers to capacity. When the recycling trailer is full, please do not place items on the ground outside of the trailer. Visit another recycling trailer location. Please use the trailers properly.
Welcome back to the show. Joining me today is Deputy Chad Beheeler with the Roanoke County Sheriff's Office. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So first tell us a little bit about your position with the Sheriff's Office.
I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Sheriff's Office, which entails me being the communication between the public and the Sheriff's Office. Also, during the school year, I handle elementary school safety and security.
Okay, and through the Sheriff's Office, there have been several programs that you all have been working with. Tell us about those.
Our first program we'll talk about is our RAD program. RAD is an acronym for Rape Aggression Defense. It's a 12-hour course. We have several instructors that are certified to teach it. During the 12 hours, you'll have 2 hours of classroom experience through our instructors, and then we'll go through different physical defense motions, your strikings, your knees, your kicks, your escape from the choke, and things like that.
How long is the class?
The class is 12 hours. We break it down into 4 days, 3 hours each day, and on the final day we concentrate on scenarios.
Okay, and who can take part in the opportunity?
Anybody. The only restriction is you have to be a female.
Okay, and do you offer this to different groups or just individuals?
We do classes for just individuals, 4 people all the way up to a group of 15. It can be schools, church groups, your place of employment. It just all depends.
And is it at the Sheriff's Office, or do you take the class out into the public?
If we have an open class, we'll do it at the Sheriff's Office in our gym. If a school wants us to do it, we can go to that school and bring our equipment, and we can do that. We can facilitate that at the school.
Okay, and how do people sign up for it?
The easiest way would be to contact me through email.
Okay, and what's your email address? We'll also show that on the screen for our viewers.
It's cbeheeler@roanokecountva.gov.
Okay, great. And now there's another program you have called AVOID.
Yes.
Tell us what that is.
AVOID is an acronym for Awareness, Verbalize, Overcome, Identify, and Distance. That is a shortened version of a physical defense course. It's about a 4-hour class with an hour instruction period and then 3 hours of defensive tactics taught by our main defensive tactics instructor, Scott Young.
Okay, and who would attend this kind of class?
This would be male, female. Usually we don't let anybody under, like, I would say middle school attend. This is middle school and up, so anybody from the age of 13 or 14 all the way up to however old.
Okay, and what are the goals for this program?
The main goal is just to have awareness of your surroundings. I think that's the key to any kind of physical defense. Awareness, and then you identify of a potential attacker, identify potential targets that you might need to use, and stuff like that.
So what is your overall goal?
The overall goal is to make the citizens aware of potential threats to them. If you're walking through a parking lot, and you are trying to get to your car and you just got groceries and you see somebody that looks suspicious, your goal, or you don't get anything for going to your car. You don't get a reward. So if you need to go back in the grocery store and just wait until that suspicious person is gone, you can do so. If that person doesn't leave the area, you can call the police. So we just want people to be aware and give them options.
Okay. And you have another program, an ID a Kid program?
Identify a Kid, yes.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about that.
So 2 years ago at Tons of Fun at Tanglewood Mall, I came there and I started doing fingerprinting for children. And that day I brought 500 cards with me, and I probably fingerprinted about 250 kids. It was just something that I knew that hadn't been offered in a while. So after that, I spoke with Sheriff Orange and asked him if we could maybe step it up a little bit and have an ID program. And that's how we came up with the program, Identify a Kid. We bought an ID maker along with a camera, a back screen, and everything we need to make IDs for children. And the IDs contain everything your driver's license would have, as well as anything you want to put on it. We can put fingerprints on there, we can put social security numbers, blood type, any kind of physical descriptors that might identify them, as well as any kind of allergies they may have. I mean, it just goes on.
Okay, so really good information for parents to have about their children. Okay, and how do children get involved?
Well, we're always at Tons of Fun every year for this event, and the last time we were there, I think we ID'd around 150 children. You can always email me, which is the easiest way to get in touch with me, and you can come to my office, set up an appointment, and it'll take about 10 minutes for me to ID your child and to fingerprint your child.
Okay, so you don't have to wait for it to be offered in the public. You can just come right in and do it at any time.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, are these programs unique to this area?
I don't know of anybody else that's a public law enforcement agency that has this program available. There may be some. I don't know about them if there is.
Okay, well, this is a great service for the community, and I'm sure we have a lot of people out there who will benefit from hearing about this. And where can they find more information again?
You can always visit us on our website, or you can visit our Facebook page. And our Facebook page is updated daily, and you can find out when our classes are being held. And you can also contact us on our Facebook page.
What are some of the other programs available through the Sheriff's Office?
Well, the Roanoke County Sheriff's Office just partnered with the City of Salem and created a safe exchange zone. What we did was we took 2 parking spaces in the Roanoke County Courthouse parking lot, painted them green, and put up a sign that identified them as a safe exchange zone. This area is under constant surveillance by the Roanoke County Sheriff's Office staff. And what it is basically if you need to exchange children through custody issues and maybe there might be a potential problem, you can come there, call us, let us know that you're there, and someone will be watching you guys. If you want to buy something off Craigslist, if you want to buy something off Facebook, that's a safe place to meet and exchange those items.
That's very popular these days, certainly.
Another program we have is our drug take back box. We had students from the School of Burton make a huge drug take back box. And what it is, basically, you can come in Monday through Thursday from 8 till 4:30 and drop off your unused prescription medication. And to date, I think we emptied it about 2 months ago, and we've collected about 400 or 500 pounds of pills.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, a lot of unused medications that would end up in the wrong hands or possibly in your water. So, another program that we offer is our gun safety program. It's a 4-hour class taught by our firearms instructors, and what that entails is getting familiar with the nomenclature of firearms, the laws surrounding firearms, and possibly if you want to carry a concealed weapon, the laws surrounding that. At the end, you are presented with a certificate which you can present to the circuit court. If you want to obtain your concealed carry permit, you may do so. That class is offered usually 2 or 3 times a year, and it fills up fairly quickly. And if you want to sign up for that, you can also contact me through email. And the only thing we ask is that you donate 10 non-perishable food items to us so we can donate that to a local food bank or church.
Okay, great services available through the Sheriff's Office.
Yes.
Thank you for including that. And again, you can contact either you or through the website?
Yes, correct.
Okay, very good. Thank you again for sharing the information and joining us today.
All right, thank you, Amy.
We'll be right back.
Did you know that pet waste is a pollutant? Pet waste can transmit harmful bacteria into our storm drains and waterways, which contaminates our water supply.
I am not the poop fairy. I have to poop outside, and I need you to scoop the poop.
Help keep our waterways clean by sealing pet waste in a plastic bag for disposal with the trash. Bury it in the yard, away from vegetable gardens, or flush it down the toilet.
Do the right thing to keep our waterways clean and scoop the poop.
On July 29th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Roanoke County's Green Hill Park is the 9th annual Touch a Truck event. It is an incredibly fun event. It is so much fun for families, for kids of all ages. We have over 200 vehicles, anything that has wheels, anything that goes in water, anything in the air qualifies to come out. I mean, kids of all ages come out. They can touch these vehicles, huge trucks. They can get in them. They can honk the horns. They can do things with these vehicles they never thought possible before. You know, usually you see huge tractor trailers going down the road, but you know, you can just see them from afar. Well, on this day, you can actually get inside them. You can see everything about them. You can talk to the folks that drive them every day. You can have so much fun. It is just one of the best days you will ever have during the summer. And in addition to that, of course, we have other things going on in the park as well. We have a petting zoo. We have lots of food vendors out there. We have the very famous fireman's foam, so bring your bathing suits. Come out and get ready to have a really great day in the park. And what makes this day even better is it's entirely free. There is no charge to come out and have a great day in the park. The only thing, if you want to buy some food from our food vendors, obviously there's a cost involved there. But you can come out and really enjoy all of these vehicles. You can even have your picture taken in the cockpit of a plane. And this year, one of our very special attractions is we're going to have a dental van come out. Colgate dental van is coming out. And we've never had that before. You know, there'll be police cars out there. There'll be military vehicles out there. We'll have all kinds of, you know, vehicles, all sorts, all sizes, all colors, all shapes. Families just really need to come out and have a fabulous day in the park. Well, we're going to have the Colgate van will be out there this year, and that's entirely new. We've never had that before. And in addition to that, we always have new vehicles. Now, we do have some old favorites coming back, of course. You know, we have the barrel train where you can, you know, have a free ride. We also have our bucket trucks come out, which is a really favorite. Folks can go up in the bucket trucks and you can see for miles. And then we always have new dump trucks come out, and we always have all kinds of new vehicles that haven't been there before. We also have monster trucks that come out every year, but there's always a wide variety of new vehicles as well. Race cars, don't forget the race cars. Kids love those as well. You know, everybody has their favorite. You know, one person likes the motorcycles, somebody else likes the race cars, somebody else likes the big rigs. You know, it's an entirely individual decision. I just think everybody should come out on the 29th of July to Roanoke County's Green Hill Park to have the time of their lives.
Have you ever wanted to find a book, read the latest issue of a magazine, or do research at your local library on a Sunday? Well, now you can. Our South County and Vinton libraries are now open from 1 to 5 on Sunday afternoons. This means that you'll have access to our extensive collection of books, DVDs, and audiobooks, as well as our library's many computers and, of course, our friendly, helpful staff. We want to be part of your Sunday afternoons. For more information, contact the South County or Vinton libraries.
Welcome back to the show. We're here today at South County Library in Roanoke County talking with our new Director of Library Services, Shari Henry. Welcome to our show.
Thanks. I'm so happy to be here.
Well, wonderful. We're really excited to introduce you to our viewers and citizens here in the county. So tell us a little bit about your background.
I was born into a large family. Two parents who were public school teachers in Fairfax County, and I was raised up there and graduated from high school there. Started off my college career at the University of Virginia, and then took what I guess now you would refer to as a gap year and did some traveling. Finished my history degree at George Mason. Got married, had a family, did a lot of freelance writing, worked in urban outreach for a while in Alabama in an area that served a school that was 94% free and reduced lunch. So that was where I really grew a heart for service, and moved to Richmond from there and started working as a sub in a library and decided that was where my heart for service was going to be taken and lead me. Worked and moved eventually from sub work to being an acting administrator of public relations and programming. From there, I went to a different position over a nonprofit resource center, which was very exciting to use reference librarianship in that way. And eventually went into branch management, and my last position before coming here was division chief over materials management, which is everything having to do with selecting books and cataloging them and getting them out to the public. So that's eventually what led me to watching out for directorships and places that would interest me in here.
Sure. Well, you have a varied background, that's for sure. Lots of experience. And what brought you here to Roanoke County?
Professionally, what drew me here was the fact that the library system has such a good reputation, and I've been attending conferences and watching some of the workshops being presented, the forward thinking, these beautiful buildings, obviously a ton of community support. The county is doing some exciting things and wanting to be a part of that. Personally, just at a place in my life where we made very deliberate lifestyle choice that's worked out for us, wanting maybe not to spend so much time in traffic and to just have more time in a place that's very outdoors focused. And then also it was kind of coming back to my roots in a way. My grandparents are buried at a cemetery in Benton. My dad we have a cradle roll certificate where he was baptized at a church in Benton. So this is not wholly unfamiliar to me. There were a lot of great stories about this area growing up, and it's always intrigued me and always drawn me.
Great. And what are your impressions of Roanoke County so far?
You know, my impressions are exactly what were reflected in the stories I grew up with, that it's a place of generous people, of kind people, of people who are curious and wanting to do right by the people that they live with and among and for. So I love the regionalism here as well as what's particular to Roanoke County. I love that people are close to the earth, and that's really encouraging to me. That I grew up with a grandfather who was always out in his garden, and so just to be closer to the trees and more land is very exciting. So all of those things were part of what kind of called me back here.
Sure. Well, we certainly live in a beautiful place, and we're glad you're here to enjoy it.
I'm glad.
And what are some of your goals for the library?
Well, you know, it's kind of daunting to come into a place where the libraries are so well established and these beautiful buildings exist. So one of the things I would like to bring is thinking outside of the buildings, this notion of a library without walls. What does that look like today? So if we really need to think in terms of 24/7 technology and how to make that ever more accessible to people. If you are a student and you're pulling an all-nighter, as many of us did, if it's at midnight and you need to get access to resources, if you're a parent sitting in a waiting room of a hospital because your child's just received a diagnosis and you would like to do some research and find good consumer health information, how can you do that? How can the library help? If you're sitting at the beach and you decide you don't like the book that you downloaded on your Kindle, to be able to access that no matter what time of day or night, no matter where you are, how can we make all of those resources, many of which are available now, but more accessible, where people don't have to look quite so hard to find them, and to make sure they're aware of them and can get to them easily. So that's one aspect. And then the other aspect is really not new to libraries so much, but evolving, and that's since the beginning of time, libraries were committed to outreach and going out and finding people. What does that look like today? Not just the traditional outreach that's already defined, but why aren't people coming in? Because I really believe that everything in this building, everything we offer electronically is for all of the community. So if they're not coming in and they don't want to, we're still here for them. Where can we go to find them and to offer them our services, to continue to be what libraries have done forever, and that's offering access to information for everyone. And it shouldn't just be those who come in the building, although I would like to say, well, of course we want people to visit and to use what we have here.
Sure. But there's that technology piece of it now that needs to be emphasized more.
Yes, technology piece, and also just having some of our staff go out and meet people, whether it's at festivals and fairs or wherever. you know, partnering with different county agencies, different nonprofit groups, different businesses to just be more visible out and about in the community, not that we're just associated with being behind a desk here.
Sure. Well, I think you have some wonderful libraries to be in now here in Roanoke County. We have some wonderful staff, and our citizens are great. They love coming into these libraries. They're not just boxes with books anymore.
No,
they're very much community centers for people. So we are very glad that you're here with us, and I know that you're going to enjoy being here. And where can people find more information online if they don't come to the library?
So they can find information. Our tiny URL is called yourlibrary.us. So they can go there and find all sorts of information. You can click through the different branch links, find out hours, locations, and phone numbers that will also give you a real live voice during the day, so you can ask the questions you need asked.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thanks for joining us.
Sure, it's great to be here. Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Think if your car has airbags you don't need to wear a seatbelt? Think again. An unrestrained occupant can be seriously injured when striking an airbag. There are 3 collisions in a crash. The vehicle strikes something, the body strikes something, internal organs strike something if the body suddenly stops. Seatbelts slow the body instead of a sudden stop, which lessens the 3rd collision. Always wear a seatbelt, even if your vehicle has airbags. Remember, click it or ticket.
Welcome back to Roanoke County Today. My name is Brian Klingenpeel, and I'm the Community Outreach Coordinator for Roanoke County Fire and Rescue. And joining me today here at our Holland station is Dr. Mike Sakochi, who is our Operational Medical Director for Roanoke County Fire and Rescue. Welcome, Dr. Sakochi.
Thanks, Brian, for having me here today.
And so I want to talk a little bit today about hands-only CPR. I've been hearing a lot about it. I'm sure some other people have too. Can you just tell me a little bit about what hands-only CPR is?
So basically, hands-only CPR is regular CPR without the rescue breaths. It can be easily performed in really just 2 simple steps. Call 911 and go to the victim and push hard and fast in the center of their chest until help arrives.
So Dr. Sakochi, tell me why it's so important that members of the public learn hands-only CPR.
Out-of-hospital cardiac arrest is a public health crisis in America. Over 350,000 people a year suffer out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. That's almost 1,000 people a day in America that could benefit from this. Of those people, 90% will die. And the scary thing is 70% of the time it could be somebody in your own house that needs this. But the important take-home message is with early hands-on CPR, we can cut that rate sometimes by 2/3, even more. We can double or even triple the survival rate just by intervening early.
Okay, so we want to demonstrate hands-only CPR today so that folks at home can just get an idea of kind of how this goes. So when we do hands-only CPR, obviously the patient needs to be on the floor, would be preferable, if at all possible, to get them on the floor. And then you were talking about the first step is we need to call 911.
Call 911, absolutely. Get help, get the professionals on the way to help you.
Yes, and then hard and fast in the center of the chest.
Yes.
And I hear music might be involved.
Yes.
So, so I think what some of the things I've read said it just helps if you have one of these songs. There are certain songs because it's really important to do it at a certain rate.
Right. There's that popular song by the Bee Gees, the disco song "Stayin' Alive." If you kind of keep that beat in your head, you're going to be compressing at 100 to 120 times a minute.
So, do I still need to take a training class to learn to do hands-only CPR?
It's best if you do, actually, because this way you can practice in a controlled environment and refresh every few years. So yeah, we do recommend you do that.
Okay, but there are certain things, if I don't have time right now to take a class for 4 hours on a Saturday or whatever it is, there are places that I could go to find out how to do hands-only CPR.
The American Heart Association has a website, heart.org/hands-only-CPR. If you go to that, it has a 90-second video that'll take you through everything we just went over today.
So I think a lot of people are just really afraid to even attempt this. They're afraid they're going to do something wrong. They could hurt somebody. But the things I've read kind of say that it really takes somebody stepping up and doing this.
Sure. When you have a witnessed arrest at home, when an adult or teenager becomes unresponsive and unconscious, 90% of the time that individual needs CPR. So actually you're not going to hurt the person because if they didn't need it, they're going to wake up right away and you're going to be able to stop. But the important thing is if you do nothing and you're just indecisive about it, 90% of the time that individual that is in cardiac arrest is going to die. So by getting involved and calling 911, doing hands-only CPR, you're going to double or triple the survival rate for that individual.
Hands Only CPR is certainly something that can be done by a single individual, one person. But let's say I'm at the office
Sure.
Or at the mall, and I got 4 or 5 people standing around. In that scenario, what should we do? What's the best thing to do in that case?
Well, again, the first thing you want to do is always call 911. Point to someone and say, you call 911, so someone can get help to you on the way. If there are multiple people available that can do hands-on CPR, you want to switch rescuers approximately every 2 minutes, because what studies have shown is at the 1 to 2 minute mark, fatigue kind of sets in and the quality of compressions goes down. So if we switch out rescuers every 2 minutes, we'll keep that high quality CPR throughout the rescue.
Right. We talked earlier about the importance of that rate and the tune staying alive. And when you do it hard, fast, and deep, it is a very tiring kind of thing.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why we want to switch out every 2 minutes if possible.
Okay. So Dr. Sakochi, let's demonstrate for the folks at home hands-only CPR.
Okay, so again, make sure you call 911 first to get rescue help on the way. Make sure the victim is unconscious. Are you okay? Are you okay? If they're unconscious and unresponsive, you want to bare their chest, kind of feel the bottom of their rib cage where their ribs meet, put 2 fingers down, go one hand breath above that, interlace your fingers, and push straight down about 100 to 100 times a minute. 2, 3.
And this is where the staying alive,
Pretty much,
to the beat of staying alive is where we need to be doing that, right?
Yep, exactly. Keep that beat in the back of your head. You're going to do a great job.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about the AED.
Sure.
So AEDs have become a lot more readily available in our society today. You find them in airports and
Sure.
malls and other places. Is that something we can still incorporate into this scenario of sudden cardiac arrest?
Absolutely. And interestingly, the American Heart Association has found that only 30% of the time an AED is available publicly, it's actually used. This, in conjunction with hands-only CPR, can make a difference and can really bring back a lot of those victims very quickly. So if anyone in your company is trained in the use of the AED, you can go ahead and retrieve it, go ahead and power it on. And the benefit of these modern AEDs, which stands for Automated External Defibrillator, it will actually talk you through the entire process. It'll tell you to put the pads on the chest, do CPR, stand back. And it will. Some of them actually provide a metronome or a little beat, so you don't even have to sing that song to yourself if you don't want to.
Right. And so that's something, again, we were talking about people standing around. That's something else somebody could go and get if there's one in the library or wherever you happen to be.
There's more of these than you realize in public, and certainly if you have one available, this will shock their heart and bring them out of that rhythm very quickly if it's applied promptly.
Let's demonstrate this one more time. I just want to make sure that I've got it.
All right.
So we're talking hands-only CPR, so I don't have to worry about breaths.
You don't have to.
I don't have to remember a ratio anymore necessarily, but just hard, fast, and deep after we've called 911.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
call 911 first, and then let's just do it again. So that remind me of where I need to put my hands.
Okay. So again, bare their chest, feel up their rib cage to the bottom. Where the bottom 2 ribs meet at the bottom of their chest, put 2 fingers down there, put another hand above that in the center of their chest, interlace your fingers, and you want to kind of get right above them, and lock your elbows, and then sing that song in your head. Ready?
All right. Staying alive, staying alive.
I'll let you sing.
Staying alive, staying alive. Very good. Thank you so much, Dr. Sakochi. This is very important information. It's life-saving information that I think really can benefit our citizens here in Roanoke County. So if you want more information about this, you can always call me, Brian Klingenpeel, at 540-777-8718. And we're also going to have this video that we talked about, the 90-second demonstration video from the American Heart Association, on our Facebook page. And so you can find us on Facebook. Just look for Roanoke County Fire and Rescue. Roanoke County Today, we'll be right back.
ROCO Alert is a citizen alert and warning system that Roanoke County will use to notify all Roanoke County households and businesses affected by or in danger of being impacted by a local emergency or disaster. Notifications will include important information about the event and any actions, such as evacuation, that officials are asking people to take. Set up an account to add your VoIP telephone like Vonage or Cox or a cell phone. Sign up today before disaster strikes and be prepared.